Phillies. Now, I'm making sure to put the emphasis on April because we said the same thing on Friday before it started. But it's notable not just that they won 2 out of 3, but also that the Phillies showed no fear, that whole invincibility stuff that people talk about. They didn't care not one bit during the weekend. Now, listen, the Dodgers are a very good baseball team, and still the Phillies were able to get 2 or 3. And here's the other part. No one thinks the Phillies played their best baseball. No one thought, oh, my goodness, not a single fan has thought, oh, my goodness, those guys did so many things this weekend that they couldn't duplicate. They did a whole bunch of things they could duplicate. They're capable of doing much more, this Phillies team. It's notable that without their A game, they were able to battle with this squad. Every game was competitive. There was some tense moments, especially in that first game where they stood tall. Yesterday, they get a lead. Everybody's happy. They lose the lead. They have to fight back. A lot of different things happened this weekend. The starting pitching overall did a very nice job. Luzardo looked tremendous with his 7 innings on Friday. Aaron Nola's fine. People are going to owe me an apology later on, but I'll wait for Ricky Bo to talk about that later on. But I think this is notable that they were able to handle their business. And here's another thing where we have to be honest right at the top of the show, because I want to have a fair discussion today. I want everybody to get their opinion in on our text messages at 610-632-0975. But I want the conversation to be fair. And we have to be honest now. Had the Phillies lost the series or got swept, it would be a big deal for a lot of fans. Therefore, when they win the series, you can't now look for reasons why it's not significant. It can't be both ways. That's the one thing I do not want to engage in today. That's the only rule. I don't want to engage in it's only April when it would not have only been April had they lost the series. It can't only be it's April went on victories. It has to be April for everything. For everything. And it wasn't perfect, as I said, but 3 sellouts, the crowd's rocking, the weather was not perfect. There was rain on basically all 3 of the days. It wasn't as warm, all that kind of stuff, but they persevered. They fought through, and they grinded with a team and showed that on the big stage, if they have to see them in the NLCS, it'll be just simply let the best team win. What it won't be is they walk in and the Dodgers already have you beat. It looked like with the Braves. If you watch any of that series against the Dodgers, the Braves were beaten before the game started. They're afraid of Ohtani. They're afraid, partially because they can't score. But regardless, the Phillies, that wasn't the case at all. If they were able to meet them on equal footing, and that's a really big deal early. Now, there'll be other tests. You won't see the Dodgers again until September, so you don't have to worry about seeing them. Bad schedule making. Put this early, and then September. This first game series should have happened in July, like right after the All-Star break, and the second one should have been in August, or September should have been the 2 times. But whatever. I'm not in charge of the schedule. But Ricky Bo, you were obviously doing pre and post this weekend.
Yep.
You're seeing everything down there at Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
I think it's notable the way that the Phillies were able to perform, even though it's April. Do you agree with that?
There's something different about this team. And you could say whatever you want. How many times have we come on this show and said, they don't look like there's any sense of urgency on this?
Yep.
Guess what? They showed a sense of urgency.
Yep.
They showed a sense that we're going to show this team that we're not going to back down to them. I think a lot of teams around baseball, because they have players that make $700 million, kind of almost bow down to them and say, you guys are the kings, you guys are the kings. By the way, take that, Shohei. I mean, if you really want to take a good look at it, Shohei Ohtani did absolutely nothing in this series. 1 for 11. You shut down one of the, well, I'll call it the best player in baseball. You completely shut down. And it's not just him, but the way this Phillies team plays, and I can't exactly pinpoint it. It feels different. It looks different. It looks like there's a more serious aspect to this team than there has been in the past couple of years. That's number one. Number two, clutch hitting. Look at Nick Castellanos yesterday. You know what? That could not have come at a better time. You have a pitcher in Tyler Glass now, who I'm sure we're going to talk about because he's crying like a baby out there because it's raining a little bit, and apparently he's never played in the rain, and all of a sudden his mentality took over that game, and he ends up walking 4 in the inning, a little base hit in there, leaves the bases loaded, and then a justified home run by Nick Castellanos comes into there, and the Phillies turn that game around in one swing of the bat. But, I mean, in my honest opinion, I think this team is pitching extremely well from more than one direction. I know a lot of people will look at Aaron Nola and say, he gives up home runs. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. That is a pretty good outing. As a matter of fact, they call that a quality start in Major League Baseball. Forget about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. I will say this much. His first start in Washington sucked. In Washington. Was not a good start. His last start was not terrible. He gave up 3 runs, six innings. The Phillies only had 4 hits in that game, and that would be their only loss over the weekend. I just think this team will stand up to anybody. And Topper said it. This team has grit. You know, they keep coming back at you. That is one thing we saw yesterday. They went down late in the ball game yesterday, down a run, come right back, score a run or 2 runs, and all of a sudden they're winning the ball game. This is what you want from a team. A team that gets down, you can't stay down. But a team that looks gritty and looks like they want to fight for every single game, that's the kind of team that this city loves. I think they're there. And it's a let's face it, it's a lot different than last year.
It is.
This team looks a lot different than last year. A lot of the same guys, too.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something businesslike about this team.
And I think one thing, obviously they had the Apple game, and you had the Fox Sports and the duel, and then you finally had just NBC Sports Philadelphia. They are acting different when they win this year.
Yeah, it's business. I mean, to me,
different when they win.
To me, it's they feel they're happy, but they're not out there making a mockery of it.
Yep.
And I think this is bringing a business type approach.
Also, already, I feel very comfortable saying, Marchand is the backup catcher.
He's a good catcher.
He's a good player.
He could play the position. He had a couple good at bats. Well, he had 3 walks in yesterday's game. How many times do you see a number 9 hitter walk 3 times?
I'm saying, like,
rarely, if ever.
It's noticeable, and some nice base running. I'm seeing with the
Dude can play.
Dude can play, so that's another thing that comes out of that. The moment was not too big for him.
Yep.
Moment was not too big for him, so that was another nice little thing we saw. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want more of this content, make sure you like and subscribe. And you know you can do that kind of over here if you want more of the best show ever.